Last night's loss basically solidified every suspicion we have about the Yankees.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, what's going on?
Not offense. Again, shocking. We're going to talk about it. Don't worry. That's what we're here for. Locked On therapy session. Hey, coming up on today's show, of course, we have a preview of Game 2 in Oakland, a pitching breakdown for you, as we always do, some thoughts and feelings about how Game 2 is going to go. Of course, an article came out in the New York Times, pretty interesting. We need to talk about the All-Star game, and I know we talked about All-Star picks last week, but the Yankees might not have an All-Star representative in the game this year. We're going to talk about how weird that is and how rare that is coming up a little bit later on. Stacey, the offense, however, last night did not back up Jhony Brito. Let's start with the good, as we like to do here on Locked On Yankees. Jhony Brito, he definitely didn't have his best stuff, but, you know, I've made this a thing, I think, at this point. The Jhony Brito line is here to stay. 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. The Jhony Brito line is alive.
Yeah, like he's not one of those guys who's going to hold a team to 2 runs, but also strike out 12 at the same time. It's going to be pretty even, which is what we saw. I mean, he could have pitched a shutout and it wouldn't have mattered, you know? So he's good for him. It's just, you know, it's June 27th, the date of this game, and who would have expected Jhony Brito to be still starting on June 27th? So good for him, going up and down, coming back, and I couldn't ask for much more, really, from him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he made some mistake pitches. I think he got away with one in the 4th inning to JJ Bleday. In the 3rd inning, back-to-back mistakes to Wade and Esteury Ruiz, and that's what's led to the first run of the ball game.
Yeah.
He gave a cookie to Bleday, and he just popped it out. Then he put one in the same spot in that curve, and Seth Brown crushed it. Yeah. So he made those mistakes, and he's going to continue to make those mistakes. He's still very young. But I mean, all in all, you'll take that line when you can get it. I did like the way he bounced back. Again, those 3rd and 4th innings were a little shaky. His 5th inning, he settled down. That 6th inning, when he got 2 outs, he had settled down. I do like him using that changeup more. That changeup is his bread and butter. I like him using it early in counts. I'd like to see him use it a little bit more during the first time through the order.
Yeah.
But he found a way last night.
Yeah, he really did. But again, it just stinks that a guy has to be pretty much perfect in order for him to be in line for the win, because the offense doesn't do anything behind him. I mean, Clark Schmidt knows all about that, and we'll find out if they do the same thing to him in the 3rd game of this series. It's just, I can't not laugh at this, because it's just ridiculous at this point that you need perfection from guys who weren't even supposed to start in the rotation, because the offense does nothing.
Yeah, I did want to send a quick shout out to Jose Trevino behind the plate. Back-to-back games with a back pick. He threw a runner out as well. So defensively, nice job by Trevino back there to work with Brito, especially getting that last out of the 3rd inning. That was huge to nab him at third base. That was massive.
Yeah.
But the reason why we're saying here that they're showing us who they are, like they're confirming our suspicions. Like, I think last night's game was like the cookie cutter 2023 Yankees, right? Just you get a performance, you squander the little opportunities you have offensively.
Yeah.
Donaldson hits a home run, which they said a stat last night that I couldn't believe. I don't know if you heard the stat, Stacey. Josh Donaldson, with that home run last night, has 9 hits this season. 7 of them are home runs. I had to double check that. I couldn't believe that was real.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, when he does get a hit, it's a big hit, but it's usually like lost because the team doesn't do anything. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. But didn't I joke? I said, "Oh, they're going to put him in Oakland. You know, he'll find his swing. He'll be fine." And then he hit that home run. And I started laughing. I thought that was really funny. But then again, you know, nothing else happened the whole rest of
Well,
the night
hey,
for anyone.
your prediction came true there. That you're like, oh well, Donaldson will return to form there. I mean, he did not have great at bats. Twice he was sitting off speed and got fastballs right there on the corner that he just could not pull the trigger on. I don't like that approach there.
No.
For Josh Donaldson, those two strikeouts looking, especially deep in the count like that. So I would like him to have a different approach there. But yeah, I mean, you chose that one in your maybe not a bold prediction, but I chose, hey, I think the Yankees are going to lose to Paul Blackburn.
Mm-hmm.
Look what happened. Remember, my prediction was to lose 2 of 3 here this week.
Yeah.
Thinking that Blackburn was going to take the first one, and I think JP Sears is going to take the second. I think the Yankees salvaged the finale here. But Blackburn, really the only mistake he made was that hanging breaking ball to Josh.
Yeah. And I mean, Donaldson did hit the crap out of that ball. That ball went pretty far. And it's funny. I feel like the Yankees always have trouble in Oakland, you know, even when Oakland's bad, although Oakland hasn't really been this bad in a long time. But even when the Yankees are marginally better than Oakland, they still always go into Oakland and seem to have trouble in that stadium. And it may be my second least favorite stadium behind Tropicana Field because of that history. I can't stand that place. Love the fans, love my Oakland friends. You might be seeing something on tomorrow night's show. If you watch on YouTube, I might have a shirt in support of my friends in Oakland if it arrives on time. But yeah, I don't understand how they can't beat this team with how bad they're playing. But let's be fair. Oakland is bad. But for some reason, they occasionally have series where they're good at home against good teams. They beat the Braves 2 out of 3 at the end of May. You know, they didn't they give the Rays trouble? Like they're just a weird team. It's just, you know, so don't take that, like, don't be like, they lost to the A's. The A's are historically terrible. It's like, yeah, they are, but the A's have beaten other good teams this year too. So as annoying as it is, I don't know. I don't feel like the Yankees are going to lose 2 out of 3. I feel like they're going to win the next 2.
All right. Hey, remember, they're bold predictions for a reason. For a reason.
That's true.
Stace, what do I always say when it comes to things like this? Anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah.
They're still Major League Baseball players.
Right. Because we said that when they played in Yankee Stadium, we warned everyone. I mean, the Yankees ended up sweeping, but we said, you know, there are guys on that team that can hit. It's possible that the Yankees might have trouble with them. They didn't in that series. This one,
they also had a way better team at that time.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Aaron Judge was there, wasn't he?
Stace, I did want to talk about Stanton. 0 for 4, did strike out last night. He had a big spot in the 8th inning that he did not come through in. He smoked a changeup there right before he ended up grounding out.
Too early.
I liked him on that changeup, but man, he looks really uncomfortable, especially off speed. And granted, he only got a handful of fastballs last night. It was almost all slider, cutter, sinker. Like, he did not get a straight fastball. He didn't get a 4-seamer last night. He got like 1 in his first at bat, maybe 2 later on in the game. But man, that's exactly how you're supposed to pitch him, right? Is he looks so off balance, man. And I think I'm a little worried. Yes, obviously you're worried from a production standpoint, but I think right now what I'm worried about is Stanton is very clearly pressing.
In 18 games off the IL, he's slashing, as people like to say, 113, 203, 226.
It's that 1 home run against New York. That's that 226 right there.
That's it. Because when a guy is struggling, would you rather him ground out the way that Stanton's right? Like, I feel like it's better when a guy is at least making contact, because if he was 0 for 4 with like 4 strikeouts, it'd be so much worse, right? I mean, it's still bad because he's looking bad on certain pitches, but I feel like the contact part of it is at least a little better than him flailing up there all the time, right?
Sure. I mean, of course, you can split hairs all day long, and their outs are outs. Yes, you like contact over swing and miss stuff, but I think kind of just my overall impression of him right now is, again, that he's just pressing.
Yeah.
And And it's understandable. It's very
Yeah.
clearly understandable. I mean, the way he spoke about Sunday's game, like I just don't like that headspace.
Yeah.
And I just, I'm rooting for him.
Of
And we're
course.
both rooting for him.
Yeah.
And you don't want to see him go down a path like this, because it's so hard when you dig a hole this deep to get out.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about him. I'm worried about where his confidence is at. I'm worried about him swinging too hard. I just want his approach to be simple and pure, and just go out there and let him do what he can do. And it's just such a dark place for him right now, and I really hope he gets out of it soon. Let us know in the comment section how you're feeling, not only about the entire offense, but about Giancarlo Stanton especially. Are you worried like I am? Are you trying to understand how he's going through this right now, and how this is, one of the worst moments of his career right now? He's really, really downtrodden right now, and I really hope the best for him. So let me know how you're feeling about that. Of course, you can drop your questions for Fan Mail Friday down below as well. And if you want to skip the line, as well as get a bunch of other perks, have one-on-one text conversations with Stacey and myself. We were texting some people today about the Yankees game. We're talking about Jhony Brito. We're talking about Josh Donaldson. And a bunch of other stuff with a couple of our subtexters. All you can do is go down to the episode description. There's a free 14-day trial. Sign up for that. If you don't like it, say adios. No hard feelings. All the info in the episode description. Stacey, we're going to take a quick breather when we come back, though. Very interesting article in the New York Times. Are the Yankees not going to have an all-star this year? Let's talk about it.
Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. Steve just used Game Time the other day, and he said it was one of the easiest ticket buying experiences he's ever had. They have great deals on last-minute tickets, and thanks to their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over tickets and start getting excited for the fun that you'll have. It's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area, and they even give you images of your seat views so you know what you'll be seeing. With their lowest price guarantee and even event cancellation protection, Game Time is the best place to buy tickets in just a matter of seconds. All it takes is 2 taps. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Create an account on the Game Time app and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Back here on Locked On Yankees. Hey, coming up on tomorrow's show, of course, you guys already know what's going on. We're recapping Game 2, giving you our thoughts and feelings on how that game will go. Your pitching matchup is Domingo Germán and JP Sears. That's going to be an interesting one, to say the least. Old friend JP Sears back at it again. That's coming up on tomorrow's show. Of course, you can catch the entire series and the entire season on SiriusXM. That's where Stacey listens. Hey, Stace.
Yes.
Weird article that I saw shared on the Yankees subreddit. New York Times talking about all-stars. I'll leave the link in the episode description of that. It's called An All-Star Game Without Any Yankees. It Wouldn't Be a First. Mm-hmm. Kind of weird. So they kind of went on to detail the author. Who's the author on this? Benjamin Hoffman. Quick shout out about this, saying that is a real possibility. The Yankees might not get someone in the game wearing the uniform, of course, with Judge likely not going to make it because of the injury, and Garrett Cole potentially not pitching because he's already been selected 5 times and he's only ever pitched once in the All-Star game. Very weird, Stacey. Your thoughts on not seeing a Yankee in the All-Star game?
That is going to be strange, especially because of what happened last year and how kind of cool it was with the mic'd up Trevino and Nestor and the whole first, it was their first All-Star games, and Clay Holmes, it was his first All-Star game. And, it was just like really cool for all those guys to be in it. And, they had a pretty big representation there last year. So that would be really strange to go from that many guys to no one in this. Yeah. And it's been a really long time since that happened. I was in high school the last time it happened. So, yeah, that would be very strange.
And you weren't alive the other time.
I was not. My mother wasn't even alive the last time it happened.
Yeah. So 1991, the last time the Yankees did not have someone in the All-Star game play. Of course, as we know, everyone gets a representative. Someone does go, so it'll be Cole, it'll be Judge or whatever. They'll go. I imagine Judge will still go, unless he doesn't want to or whatever. He just wants to hang out at home.
Yeah.
He's got the time off already. Scott Sanderson, the lone Yankee representative in 1991, he did not play. The only other time it happened, Stacey, 1943, DiMaggio was serving in the military, and there were 6 Yankees All-Stars that didn't play for a very specific reason. I think this is why I wanted to talk about this. This is bizarre. This is like one of those like old baseball stories. You just go like, what? Like, oh yeah, he got the one where it's like, oh, he got struck by lightning and pitched a perfect game. You're like, what? This is not real. So this is coming from, again, the article that I linked in the episode description. None of the 6 Yankee representatives got into the game, which was held at Shibe Park in Philadelphia. Their exclusion was especially notable since the roster decisions were made by Joe McCarthy, the manager of the Yankees. Quote, "We didn't need them," McCarthy said boastfully after the game. Quote, "We got out there in front early enough. Besides, these other boys deserve a chance to shine. The Yankees have had enough of the limelight." That, again, what a weird, old-timey, let's go batter up type of story that that this one came out with, huh?
I mean, he had a point. I mean, at that point, the Yankees were almost always in the World Series. They were always like on the newspapers and in the headlines. And, good for Joe McCarthy to be like, you know what? These other guys need a chance to play. My guys can sit. They need to rest.
Yeah. So bizarre. So bizarre. We've talked about all-star picks potentially here, Stace. Anyone from the pen, I still think might have a chance. Is there anyone you still have a chance as far as out of the bullpen?
Clay Holmes, maybe.
Yeah.
I think he might be the only one.
Yeah, consistently.
Yeah, I think he might be the only one who's been pretty consistent. And I think
he had like a bad couple outings and then really figured it out after that.
Yeah. So, and then you might even see, guys dropping out, and then they might pick other people, because that always happens where like guys, decide either not to go or whatever. So we'll see. I don't feel like I feel like someone's going to end up playing for the Yankees. I don't know who.
Hey, they will have a couple of people in Seattle that will be playing.
Yeah.
Some all-star futures players named. We did want to give quick shout-outs to Spencer Jones and Clayton Beeter. You Locked On Everydayers already know about these players. We talk about them all the time. Spencer Jones and Clayton Beeter, 2023 All-Star Futures team. Congratulations to them. That was announced the other day as well. Last season, Stace in 22, Volpe, Jason Dominguez, and Ken Waldachuk were all on the Futures AL team. Remember, they switched it from World versus US to AL versus NL now. Other notable Yankees that have played in the Futures game: Gary Sanchez, Aaron Judge, Luis Severino, Jabba Chamberlain, and Phil Hughes all pitched or played in the Futures game, or at least were on the roster. Not everybody used, obviously, but
Phil Hughes, who turned 37 the other day. That's how long ago Phil Hughes played in the Futures game. He was young. People forget how young Phil Hughes was when he came up to the Yankees, because he was like 20. Like, it was unbelievable how young that kid was. I was supposed to see him at Trenton, and I had a death in the family. I was supposed to go with a bunch of my friends because, he had gotten called up, and we're like, oh, we're going to see Phil Hughes, because he was one of those prospects we kept our eye on, and I had a death in the family and I couldn't get to see him when he was a prospect. So that was kind of a bummer. Yeah.
Bummer. But hey, again, congratulations, Spencer Jones and Clayton Beeter. We've been covering you guys all season, so super stoked for them. It's nice to see the Yankees get a couple representatives out there, especially a position player and a pitcher. Clayton Beeter's going out his mind lately, by the way. And so is Spencer Jones. I mean, come on, they're both crazy.
So the Futures game is going to be on Peacock. Is that what I heard?
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll save that for another day. Hey, drop your questions in the Fan Mail for Fan Mail Friday in the comments here. Of course, all you got to do is reply to that pinned comment down below. If you want to skip the line for Fan Mail Friday, you can join our subtext, have one-on-one text conversations with Stacy and myself, and of course, a bunch of other information coming your way on a daily basis. That's more than just the show. We can give you real-time updates through text messages, and it doesn't cost you anything to start. 14-day free trial, and if you like it, a $4.99 monthly subscription thereafter. But check it out, see if you like it. If you don't, No hard feelings. One more quick breather, Stace, but we need to talk about this second game in Oakland. Can the Yankees bounce back? Back here on Locked On Yankees, our final segment here for today's episode. Of course, you can catch the A series on SiriusXM. We're going to talk about that right now. But first, Stacey, we haven't done this in a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still watching? Are you still paying attention? It's comment time, folks. I want you to comment the words Girl Scout cookies down below here in the comment section of YouTube to prove that you are still watching and still paying attention, because we know a lot of people tune out after the second segment. Are you still around? Let us know down in the comment section down below and confuse a bunch of other people who are going down there to complain about Giancarlo Stanton. Girl Scout cookies. It's because you watched. Stacey, pitching matchup, Wednesday game, Domingo Germán, JP Sears. Can we talk about JP Sears? We talked about him in yesterday's episode, of course, but man, what a turnaround he's had since. I wouldn't say he got blown up by the Yankees last time around, but clearly not what he wanted to do. 5 earned and 5 1/3, but he has really pitched well over the last month and a half, and I really think he's going to give the Yankees a hard time tonight.
Oh, definitely. With the way the offense has not been doing anything, coming into this game, the A's had the worst pitching staff in baseball. I think their team ERA was above a 6, and they held the Yankees to 1 run on 1 home run because that's what the Yankees like to do. So, I think I take back my statement from earlier, and they could very possibly lose this game. And it might be where Germán bounces back, only gives up 2 or 3 runs, and the Yankees can't push across more than 1.
Oh, gosh.
I mean,
good times right now, huh?
Just, it's great. It's not fun watching them right now because you basically.
Well, one, it's midnight.
Yeah, I know. It's almost 1 a.m. in New York here as we're recording this. And if I look a little more chipper than I did during the Seattle series, it's because I drank coffee. So I'm better prepared for this West Coast trip this time. No, it's someone will hit a double, Rizzo. It's like, oh my God, Rizzo just got a really good hit. This is great. Nothing. You can't even, you can get excited about the double, and then you think to yourself, well, no one behind him is going to do anything. And no one behind him does anything. It's just, it's very predictable right now. And it's just annoying because you want to be surprised. Like the big inning that they had against Texas, that was a surprise. It was a pleasant surprise. And I wish they could have kept that up. I was kind of hoping for something like that to happen on Tuesday night Tuesday, but it didn't happen. So,
yeah. Domingo Germán going, Stace. Find a corner. Not to hide in, but find a corner to pitch in is what I'm saying for Domingo Germán. I'm not telling you guys to find a corner to go hide and get into the fetal position. No, I'm saying Domingo Germán needs to hit the corners tonight, man, because he is just cookie, BP, and they're just smacking it.
I mean, I really hope that they had him watch film of his last 2 starts on that long flight from New York to Oakland, because he really needs to watch what he did in those last 2 starts and try not to do that again.
Wish it were that easy.
I know. When you were saying what you were saying about Stanton earlier, I was going to joke about how maybe someone could clip this off of YouTube when the episode is published and send it to Stanton. Be like, dude, don't be so down on yourself. Come on, man.
Breathe, buddy. We're on your side.
Zen baseball. Come on.
Yeah. We're here for you, man. And if you want to come on the show,
yeah,
throw that out there.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if Germán gets anywhere remotely close to a quality start right now, he just needs anything to build off of. I think that's really important for him tonight to just get something to build off of, whatever that is. Even if it's, he gave up 4 runs in 5 innings, but hey, he struck out 6. Something like that. It's like you need to find some sort of positive. Hey, he didn't walk anybody. Or hey, there were no wild pitches. There was nothing like outlier. It's like, yeah, he got hit around a little bit, but there's something you can start working on again and working with to kind of build back up to where he was just 4 starts ago. It was not that long ago. He can get back to that, and hopefully tonight is that night where he's able to get back on track. So again, you can join our subtext group to get text messages throughout the game. If you so please, you can always send us your questions during the game. You get Fan Mail Friday priority. As you guys already know, all the info is in the episode description. But hey, that's going to just about do it for today's episode of Locked On Yankees. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you tomorrow.